It's Too Many Men on the Mic, presented by Netfront LLC. Now here's Coach Drew and Coach Jared.
Well, welcome to the last week of May, and you can't say last week of May without talking about Final Four of the NHL. We're broadcasting on a Wednesday, but last night's game brought us one Stanley Cup contender to the table, and that is, I bet you didn't have this on your bingo card, the Vegas Golden Knights. How about that?
I don't know what to do right now. You're not sitting next to me. It's been a minute since we've recorded this way. I'm going to blame our producer Grant because since we've started in the new studio, we've had no internet problems. He decides to go to his parents' basement, and all of a sudden we've got to hightail it back to the home bases and figure out how to do this for our fans and for our listening audience. So well done, Grant. Well done.
I just want you to know I also was at home last week too, and nothing was wrong. So your theory here is
flawed.
Well, what theory isn't flawed right now is that the Montreal Canadiens are in a little bit of problem. They got a little problem going on right now.
I don't want to talk about it.
In the form of the former Hartford Whalers, now Carolina Hurricanes. What would you say?
Yeah,
you would call that the Carolina Hurricanes knee Hartford Whalers.
That's ridiculous that you're wearing that hat in support of the Hurricanes, because every true Whalers fan probably hates the Hurricanes.
How many true Whalers fans do you know, Grant?
Well, I can say I know 0 Whalers fans and 0 Hurricanes fans. So,
well, I was definitely a Whalers fan. I got a freaking Whalers flag, dude.
So why are you're supposed to hate the Hurricanes? They took away the Whalers.
I know it did break my heart when it happened, but here's the cool thing. They wear the Whales when they're at certain home games. They wear the Whalers green.
No,
and they still play brass bonanza. Well, what about Colorado wearing like Nordique stuff?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like when the Oilers.
Oh, you're ridiculous.
When the Titans wear the Oilers stuff. That's so stupid.
I think it's just like, look, the fans can't help the economics. It's a cool jersey. Like, let's just go. Did you know Hartford actually played? Swear to God, this is no joke. Hartford played in a mall. Like it's going out to West County. There was a hockey rink in the middle of the mall.
Yeah, that's what the Wizards do.
Is it really?
Yeah, I went to a Wizards game once, and they play in a mall. You walked through the beginning of the mall to get to the arena. It's insane.
Have they been the Wizards your entire life, by the way?
Yeah, they have.
I knew them as the Bullets.
Well, that's what I guess the Capitals do too, because don't they share arenas?
No, the Capitals I think so. Do they? They don't play in a mall though, do they?
It's a mall.
Well, I was actually in Hartford about 10 years ago. Well, flew through Hartford and went through the mall. So that's where I got this hat.
Is the rink still there?
Yeah, the rink's still there. They there was a junior team and all sorts of cool stuff. But all I'm saying is
Wolfpack, right?
Yeah, Hartford Wolfpack. June 18th, you're gonna be sitting front row at the Too Many Men on the Mic.
I felt really good after they won game 1 too.
We solved the Rust versus Rest question, didn't we?
Rust.
Yeah.
Definitely Rust. Although I think
they almost won game 3. Lost in overtime.
I mean, if Suzuki doesn't miss a breakaway chance, maybe they will. But there's an old saying: never mind. Hey, I will say this though. I did kind of call Vegas too. I mean, a broken clock's right twice a day. So
I was in on Vegas. I should have made that bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say that now. You're on the backside, and you know the players that are there. So awfully convenient. But we got a great show today. We're talking ACHA hockey. And for those that don't know what ACHA hockey is we've said this before many times on the show, there is a place for everybody to play hockey. And so this is a league that's been growing, and it's tied to college universities throughout the country. And so today we're going to speak to a current ACHA player that's going to give us a little bit of insight on his non-elite youth hockey journey, and then how that now is transitioned into ACHA hockey as a 18-plus-year-old. So I'm looking forward to the conversation and sharing a part of hockey that we haven't really touched on this year.
Yeah, and he's not just going to any university, and not that that sounded bad. He's going to a elite university, Big Ten school. I think they pride themselves on being the hardest academic institution in the Big Ten. I think the University of Chicago still wants to argue with them on that, though, because technically the University of Chicago is still a part of the Big Ten. But Blake Dorn from St. Louis, former St. Louis Rocket and SLUH Junior Billiken, now a Northwestern Wildcat and playing for the Northwestern Wildcats ACHA team. Blake, it's great to see you, and thanks so much for joining us, man. Catch us up, man. Tell us what college life is like at Northwestern.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks so much for having me on. Obviously, I appreciate it a lot. Winded down the year at Northwestern. I have about a few weeks left. It's definitely been a great ride so far. Obviously, the academics have been pretty challenging, but I would say it's going well. I'm having a great time. I have a lot of great friends. Hockey's going well. School part's going well. So yeah, no complaints at all.
So Blake, how often are you on the ice practicing with your ACHA team?
So on a regular week, we'll have 2 or 3 skates a week and then games on the weekends. So say 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay. So that's a good, healthy amount of ice that you're touching. And I take it you've got games in town, but then you've got games out of town. And how frequently are you hitting the road?
Yeah, so the divisions, it's kind of weird. It got realigned last year. So most of our teams that we play are in the Chicagoland area. Mm-hmm. We do have a few trips, though. So like this past year, we went to Los Angeles. We played Loyola Marymount. We went to Madison, Wisconsin. We went to a place called Fond du Lac in Wisconsin. Not the best place to go and a lot to do. And then next year, we're going to Arizona, Miami of Ohio, and then St. Louis for playoffs. So yeah, it's a good amount, but I would say most of our games are in the Chicagoland area.
Well, tell us a little bit about, we're going to get into this journey and we're going to have a little bit of fun. But tell us a little bit about what are you studying, or what are you majoring in at Northwestern, and how often are you catching the train down to the city? And we'll make sure your mom and dad aren't listening. When we drop the episode. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been going downtown a lot. Obviously, there's a train station right by my dorm, actually. So it's super convenient. I can go down anytime I want. It's been a great time. What was the first question you asked? I'm sorry.
What are you majoring in? What's the studies like?
So right now I haven't declared, but I'm planning on doing a double major in political science and legal studies, and then a possible minor in history or Spanish. I haven't decided which one. But obviously the pre-law track, yeah.
I mean, right away, he's the smartest guy on the podcast, Drew.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, we're super excited to have you on here, and I know you've listened to the show. We talk a lot about what we call the 90% in youth hockey, the kids that are playing C through A1 level, and understanding that that's where the sport needs to grow. We need to make sure we're keeping those kids in it. You went through that track. I mean, you were a A-level player. I think you ended your minor career playing AA midget. But between that and going to such a great high school, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the 10U and 12U Blake was like, and what that experience was, and why you kept playing this great sport?
Right. So I'll start off going way back. My dad played hockey at SLUH actually. Back in the day, a long time ago. So he always visioned me and my brother Noel playing hockey. So I think I started when I was 6. I went to a skate, absolutely hated it. hated it so much. I cried and left the ice. I didn't go back, and I refused to play for a while. And then I started watching hockey, watching the Blues, going to Blues games, getting into it. And I was like, okay, hey, I can give this another try. So maybe 9 or 10, I started skating again. Played my first year with the Rockets with Coach Whitworth. Shout out to him. He's absolutely amazing. And yeah, I quickly found that I was at that level. I was one of the better players on the team, one of the better skaters. So I got moved to defense. And then, yeah, from there, it's been a movie since then.
Yeah, you see how he slid that in there, Drew. I heard it. He prepped them. Well, I'll let you two guys hash it out here because there's gonna be a love fest now. You talked about skating and defense.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love a defender, but you went to Blues games. I love how you said that. So you went to Blues games, and what was it about watching the pro game? Because one of the things we talk about on the show a lot is watch a player that plays your position and follow them for a period or even an entire game. So what was it about going to Blues games that really kind of made you get into it maybe the second time around? What was that?
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying that I went to Clayton for elementary school, and soccer was the sport to play. Everyone loved soccer, but for me, I absolutely hated it. And no hate to all the soccer fans out there, but for me, it was pretty slow paced. Couldn't really tell what was going on. And then I start going to hockey games, and it's super fast paced. Everyone's moving. Everyone seems to know what they're doing, moving the puck, hitting people. It's physical. And I loved it. And I decided I want to try that out.
So you like the physical part of the game?
Of course.
Love it. So I have to imagine that ACHA hockey with 18-plus-year-old players out there can get physical from time to time, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And how old would you say some of the players that you're playing against are? Do you age out of ACHA hockey when you get to a certain year? How long are you able to play?
I don't believe so. I think you have 4 or maybe 5 years of eligibility because I know grad students are able to play. There was a 25-year-old on my team this year that came from playing NCAA D3, and we played Loyola Chicago, and they had someone on their team with a family, a wife and kids. So it's a very wide age range.
I remember when I was in school and being out there, and I swear to God, there was like 10 guys with beards, mortgages, and 3 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so cool. But what a great experience. I mean, so I love how you talk about like, hey, I'm going to give this a try again. I'm going to go back. And it was tied to the local hockey team, the Blues. And I think a lot of kids get that, especially those kids that saw the Blues win the Stanley Cup. You were a little bit before that time as far as like that being an impact. But like, were there kids in your elementary school? Were there other kids besides the Rockets that you were able to you were friends with that maybe were playing, a little bit sooner than you were? And what are some things that, if you could go back and tell that 12-year-old Blake, hey, this isn't as important, or do this, what would those things be?
So on the first point, I would say I was one of the first to start playing hockey at my school. I think before me, there was one other guy, and he grew up playing AAA. So we weren't the closest of friends. I didn't talk to him a lot about hockey, but yeah, after me, maybe I started a trend because a lot of people started to play. And then on your second point, I would tell myself to just have fun with it. I feel like growing up, maybe around until high school, I was kind of like a scared player out there. I was always one of the better players for my level, but I was always kind of afraid to make a mistake. I didn't want my teammates to yell at me, my coach to yell at me. So I didn't want to try new things that I'd worked on at practice or in like at stick and pucks, So I would say, don't be scared to make mistakes. It's a game. It's supposed to be for fun. You should try your best to be the best player you can out there. Don't be scared to make a mistake.
And so when you were thinking about going to college and you were wrapping up your 18U season, was there ever a point where you said, boy, I just don't know what I'm going to do with hockey? Or did you get to Northwestern and find out information about the ACHA team, and then that lead you to discussions? How did that work for you?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So my senior year, I was playing on the SLUH varsity team and then 18 UAA for Rockets with my friends. A few months into the season for SLUH, in the J Cup game, actually, I got a concussion. And this was I've had a few concussions I'd won the year before. So after that, I took a long break from hockey, a few months. Even after I was cleared, I was hesitant about playing. I ended up finishing up the season with my AA team, and we won the Blue Note Cup. And I went into that game really, thinking that would be my last ever game of hockey, that would be my last time lacing up, playing. And I had such a great time in that game. We won, a great memory. And then a few weeks later, after I had pretty much said, like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play hockey, an Instagram notification popped up, and it was from the Northwestern team. I'd followed them a while back after I knew I got in. And it turns out they were playing at Maryville that night for playoffs. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll go check out the game. I'll go see what's up. I went to the game. All the guys were having a great time out there. Skill level wasn't super crazy. And I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. So I started thinking about it over the summer. I texted the coach, and we were exchanging a few texts, talked to some guys on the team, and I still wasn't really decided. So I left on September 9th. And the morning of the day where we leaving, I was like, you know what? I'll bring my hockey stuff up. I'll see if I want to skate. I still hadn't decided, but, I decided to bring it up. Went to a skate that week during my welcome week, and I loved it. The guys were super welcoming and great. They asked questions about me. They wanted to know about me. I felt like they wanted me to be a part of the team. And then meeting the coach, I got the same vibe also. So I was just like, yeah, I'm going to try it out, and made the right decision for sure.
I mean, they obviously wanted a guy who was a great skating defenseman.
I don't know about great. I don't know about great.
Well, hey, I could tell you, you're an excellent skater. Talk a little bit about the lead up through the years here. Because you make that jump to A1. I think your Bantam year, and then you stick with it through midget and you start to go to one of the best hockey high schools in SLUH, where you're competing with and practicing with some of the best talent in the area, if not only the area, but the region. Walk us through how you navigate that, and what did you use? How did that shape you and help you grow and develop even more?
Yeah. So my Bantam A1 year with Coach Meek, obviously Brendan was on that team. Great year. We were pretty good for a team. We won the Blue Note Cup. Throughout the year, my coach, Coach Meek, he was reaching out to Coach Walters at SLUH, and he was wanting to know more about me, wanting to get me to play. So he put in a good word. And over the summer, I was actually invited to play in the varsity summer league for SLUH, which for SLUH, we put out a lot of like borderline guys, like JV level guys compared to varsity guys from Vianney, Kirkwood, Chaminade, etc. And going out there, I was like, okay, like I'm screwed. I can never play varsity at this school because, playing against like junior, senior guys that play varsity at Chaminade, very intimidating for 8th grade me going into my high school year. So yeah, my freshman year, I didn't think I would ever make varsity. I played on the JV team. And then in March, we won the state championship for SLUH. I was at that game. I saw how much fun it was, how we had thousands of people there. And that's when I really started to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be on this team. I want to be in this situation. So that really started up like I need to start doing more lessons, start practicing harder, go to more stick and pucks, because I wanted to get there.
Love it. So you got a little bit of a taste. You saw yourself out there, a future version of yourself out on the ice. That's awesome.
I think it's important for
minute of
coaches
play
to hear.
in this period.
You had a guy in your corner in Coach Meek who not only believed in you, but knows how great of a person you were. And it's important for players and coaches and parents to realize that it's a total package. And as coaches, we all talk to each other, and you earn it, but it's also great to get that look or get that interest. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next segment here. But I can't tell you, like, it's just so cool to hear you playing college hockey at Northwestern. And I know your story is going to help inspire a lot of these kids out here who are listening to us today. So if you got time to stick around for the next period, we're going to do a couple of advertising reads and pay a few bills, and then we'll bring you right back.
For sure. Sounds great.
All right. Don't go anywhere. Too Many Men on the Mic. We'll be right back.
Summer's right around the corner, but Big Bear Tournaments is already thinking about the next hockey season. Registration is now open on their website for the 2026-2027 season, and spots are filling fast. Join them in new locations such as Savannah, Georgia, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Holland, Michigan. Looking to save on your entry fees? Take advantage of their multi-team, multi-club, and club-level discounts that guarantee savings across the board for every team in your organization. Head over to bigbeartournaments.com today to claim your spots and be ready to hit the ice after the summer. And if you're watching this online, up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a QR code. If you click that QR code, it'll take you to some of Big Bear Tournaments' great tournaments for the 2026 and 2027 season. That's bigbeartournaments.com, your next youth hockey travel destination.
Real quick, folks, before we jump back into this episode, if you're enjoying Too Many Men on the Mic, hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and be sure to follow and share on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts. It's a quick click for you, but it helps us grow the show and keep bringing you great hockey conversations. You can also follow us on Instagram by scanning the QR code on your screen if you're watching us on our YouTube channel. And be sure to download, follow, and rate the podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also go directly to our website, toomanymenonthemic.com. That's the number 2, to follow us on all of our social channels. And for coaches, you can download practice plans, small area games, and drills brought to you by some of the best coaching minds in the country. Those are small things from you that help us keep delivering new guests, downloadable coaching content, and more from the rink. All right, back to the show. And we're back here with Blake Dorn, who is a defenseman at the Northwestern University ACHA Wildcats team. We're talking youth hockey experience, growth and development, and we left off talking about how as you progress through your Bantam and into high school and midget years, you started to really, really understand that hockey is more than just, the on-ice experience. It's the total package. It's the feeling, the fun. And I think a lot of that you were alluding to started when you were at that SLUH varsity high school championship your freshman year. Tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us how you went from, an 8th grader playing in the summer league to playing varsity hockey for SLUH and what that meant for your development.
Yeah, so back to that game, at the Centene USA rink, SLUH versus DeSmet, one of the oldest rivalries in the city for hockey. I think we had about 3,000 people at the game. It was just incredible seeing the whole St. Louis hockey community come together to watch my high school. And I got to see guys that I played with over the summer that I've practiced with. I got to see them win the championship in front of all these people. And that's when I really started to want to be out there. I wanted to be on that varsity team. I wanted to be playing in front of all my friends. I wanted to be playing in front of the city. So that's when I really started my development track, I would say. And then going off of that, I started skating in the mornings, 6:30 at Maryville over the summer during the school year, during my sophomore year, worked hard over my sophomore year, got a few invites to varsity practices. Then by my junior year, I was finally able to make a varsity roster spot. I got to play a few games. Then going forward, I had some good games. I got to play some more games. Even got in for the playoffs. So, I finally got to be out there, got to see myself playing in front of all these people, going from the 8th grader that never thought I could to now actually being out there.
And Blake, I have to believe as an 8th grader, you were your body was transitioning and you were beginning to grow, or maybe you were an early grower. How did that impact stepping in and playing with players much older? And then how did you develop confidence as your body changed and you continued on that journey?
So as a player, I would say I've never been super scared of contact at all, but that varsity summer league was definitely an exception. 14-year-old me out there, 120 pounds, maybe like 5'8", 5'9", going against 18-year-olds that have 50, 60 pounds of me. It was outrageous being out there, taking those hits from varsity level players. So it's really something I had to work through. I had to start eating better, working out a little more. And, with puberty, like being able to get taller, get heavier, obviously that helped a lot with easing into the transition.
Blake, what I love about this story, let me ask you this. When you were 10, 11, 12, were you going to your dad and your mom and saying, hey, I want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go skate?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So my little brother, Noel, he plays Central States right now. He's trying to get on a AAA team. He's very good. He's always been super dedicated, and he loved that stuff growing up. He loved getting up, skating early in the morning. For me, I absolutely hated it. I dreaded it. Hated waking up in the morning. Hated being on the ice that early. Absolutely hated it. But the transition 4 years later, I was the first one out there. I loved it.
Well, and I think that's the story, especially for parents of young players. You got to let them drive the bus, because whether they're going 80 miles today or 40 miles a day, they're going to get to the right destination if you let them drive. Talk a little bit about how you owned your development here, because I think that's an inspiring and important story for a lot of kids and parents to hear. Like, your journey's still going, and I think it's because you owned it. So talk a little bit about that and that mentality.
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is that you have to want it. If you're waking up at 5:30, but you're putting in like half effort, you're not really going to get the benefits of that. But also my advice would be, you have to find love for the game to be able to truly get better. Whether that's from watching people you idolize growing up, like Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, McDavid, or whether it's just getting out there, playing in your own games, trying a new move or something, you have to find the love for the game to be able to get better. So I think my first moment of really falling in love with the game was watching SLUH win the state championship. After that motivated me to be able to get up early, to go to practice, to work hard, to do that extra down and back, to do the extra mountain in the morning. So yeah, you have to find the love for the game, or else whatever you're doing, it's not going to work out for you.
So what do you love about the ACHA game? What has it been like on this next path of your journey? Tell me what brings you to what brings you to the rink, and what excites you about playing ACHA hockey?
Okay, so first answer is definitely my teammates and my coach. My first practice, I walked in, didn't know anybody, room of like 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 25-year-olds, like I said. Obviously, it was like living the varsity summer league all over again. I was terrified. Absolutely did not want to be there. But my teammates from day one, they were the most welcoming people I've ever met. They wanted me on the team. They asked questions about who I was, where I was from. They really helped the transition. Not even just for hockey, they helped me with the academic transition also. There's times during games when we're on the road, we'll hit up like a Panera and we'll study for a few hours together. So I would say all my teammates, like over my career of hockey, have been welcoming, but being in college, it's just a whole nother level, because it's a bunch of guys who obviously want to prioritize their academics, their future career, but we're all bonded together by the love for the game. And it's just like a little community in this big college that we're at.
I have to believe that was probably pretty appealing to come into a group of people where you were accepted and a place that you've never been before. And so you have this immediate family that sounds like they were very welcoming, while you're also growing different relationships that have nothing to do with hockey, right?
Yeah. There's no better feeling than during the day, you don't do super well on a midterm or a test, but then a few hours later, you get to go to the rink and just play hockey with some of your closest friends. There's really, really nothing better.
How close is the rink to campus?
We're really lucky. We play at Robert Crown in Evanston, which is 5 to 10 minute drive, about a mile and a half,
awesome.
2 miles from campus.
That's awesome. It's not always like that everywhere.
Yeah. And the best part is that we have gear storage at the rink, so we don't have to bring our stinky gear.
Look at that. Oh, it's the best.
Nice.
It's the best.
Yeah.
My roommates probably love that.
Yeah, he does.
So the cool thing, we did a little research on Blake Dorn. 20 games this year, not a big deal as a freshman. Freshman defenseman. You got your first college goal. You got your second college goal. You finished up with 7 points in the regular season for a freshman defenseman. That's really, really good. Walk us through that first goal, man. I got to hear it. What's the story like?
Yeah, not a super cool story. It was our second game. I believe we were playing some team from Texas. I can't quite remember who it was. I believe it was the second period. It was a 2-on-1. My teammate, who didn't really know my name at that point yet, didn't really know who I was. I think he thought he would rather shoot than pass. He shot it, and the goalie couldn't find it, and I was able to just get the easy tap in, Sometimes that's all it takes.
But your second game, now you're off the schneid right off the bat. So at that point, were they like saying, well, this guy should be scoring at least 10 goals? 20 games, a goal every game, right? Every other game, right?
Yeah, at that point, I would say that was my like official welcome to the team. We ended up winning that game. The goal was a big part of that. Maybe I like to credit myself a little bit. Yeah, it was a big welcome to the team moment.
See, he's a defenseman who's activating in the offensive zone. I love it.
And I'm looking at your roster. You've got guys from all over the place: Arizona, Rhode Island, New York, California, Texas. And so I have to believe everybody's bringing their own hockey stories from different parts of the country. And so do you guys sit around in the locker room and tell war stories about your prior hockey journeys and a great goal you had and how you scored it, or a challenging game? What's that like?
Yeah, I would say that's one of the coolest parts about the ACHA. You got people from all over the country, people from all levels of skill. For my team, at least, we had a guy who played NCAA D3. We have a lot of prep school guys, but then we also have players who never played varsity in high school, or players that haven't played in a few years. And I think that's the beauty of the ACHA. We all get to come together for our love of the game, no matter where we're from, no matter what the level we are. And yeah, a lot of great locker room stories. Can't remember any off the top of my head right now, but it's super cool hearing about all these different people that I never would have known if I decided not to bring my gear up.
Well, and I love what you just said. I mean, even kids that haven't played varsity high school hockey, there is an opportunity for you. And it sounds like you've got a good collection of a variety of skill levels. So, and you talked about 25-year-olds. One of the things we've talked about this year on the show, Blake, is that you're not done developing as a hockey player until you're 23. And so people, it's easy to forget that.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. That's exactly right. So that's outstanding.
Talk a little bit. I mean, you talked about the SLUH fan experience when you were in high school, and I got to believe that as ACH hockey's gaining popularity throughout the country, what's the game situation like for Northwestern? It's got to be cool wearing that purple N on your sweater there. So talk a little bit about the games, and then we'll hit some funny, rapid fire questions after that.
Yeah. So I would say we do get a good amount of people at our games, whether it's students, Evanston residents, or just hockey fans in general. I will say that I believe SLUH has the best student section in all of high school sports. So shout out to SLUH there. I don't know if it compares totally, but we do have cool events. We had a Greek life game day. So all the frats and sororities were invited to come, and we packed the house for that, and that was super cool.
That's awesome. Well, I know you've got probably, you're coming from a highly competitive academic world from SLUH. You're going to an extremely different level in terms of academics. Last question about this. How do you balance that as a student athlete? That's got to be, how do you prioritize? You had mentioned earlier about, getting to the rink at night to blow off steam, but it's got to be tough, especially your freshman year at such a prestigious and competitive university. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was thinking about, whether or not I'd be able to do that when I was deciding if I would play or not. First of all, I would say that our coach knows where we're at for school. He knows we're there for school, and hockey is a secondary thing. So we prioritize academics. We practice pretty late at night, so it doesn't interfere with any classes or studying. And he's totally understanding if you need to miss a practice because you have a test coming up. And then our weekend trips are also kind of scheduled around our academic schedule. We are encouraged not to take classes that are late on Fridays, just in case we have a bus trip or a flight to catch. But usually it's pretty manageable. Our coach makes it super easy for us. That's one of the things I appreciate about him for sure.
And have you been given a nickname on the team, Blake? Or do you have multiple nicknames on the team?
I wouldn't say I have. I've always just been called like BD or B Dorn. So my teammates need to work on that for sure. I need a better name.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. What's one of the funniest chirps you've heard, or worst chirps where you just are kind of like, I can't believe that was just. And if you PG-13, you can change the words to protect the innocent.
Oh God. I've never been a big chirping guy. It's never been me. Some of my teammates are pretty good. I wouldn't say maybe not PG-13, but some of my teammates are good with that.
Well, and I have to believe there's got to be a good local food spot that you guys go to. What's the go-to place to eat for the ACHA Northwestern Wildcat hockey team? Is there one or two places that are at the top of the list?
Okay, so I have a boring answer for the team. Everybody loves Cane's. There's a Cane's close to the rink, so that's probably our go-to spot after a late night game. Just because Chick-fil-A isn't open late enough. And that's one thing I want to emphasize. Chick-fil-A should be open later. So yeah, Cane's it is.
Who's your most superstitious teammate? What's the superstition?
You mean for this year or for whatever?
Well, you could pick this year or for in the past. Obviously all your teammates should be listening and following and subscribing to the show after this one, right?
Yeah, I would say most superstitious teammate. From SLUH, definitely my friend Andrew Belly, amazing goalie. He's playing in the Null, I believe, right now. Before every game, he would always sit up in the Afton stands, read a book, listen to classical music. I thought that was really cool. So shout out to him.
That is pretty. I mean, that's so goalie. We had goalies on the show 2 weeks ago. That's so goalie.
He's amazing. He's an amazing guy, amazing goalie.
Yeah. That's great. Classical music too, not rock, not heavy metal, just some, Bach, Beethoven, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the tough team? Is there a good rivalry that Northwestern has with one of the ACHA teams that you have played against, where you kind of circle the calendar and go, this is going to be a tough one, or you're really looking forward to that game?
So I would say our main rivalry is Loyola Chicago, just because of the short distance. However, we did beat them pretty badly both times this year. So wouldn't say it's like a close rivalry, but I've heard they've got some good guys coming in. So, maybe looking forward to those games next year. I'm sure they'll be a lot more competitive because their coach is great. They have a lot of good guys, and I'm sure they're going to continue that over my next 3 years.
What was the coolest trip of the year? I know you went out to California. I ran into your dad in Philadelphia, of all places. And he was telling me, yeah, Blake's on his way out to California. But what was the coolest trip? And you were just like, wow, I did not ever envision myself coming here to play hockey.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say Los Angeles, obviously. Our team manager, he's a great guy. He managed to book us a hotel in Santa Monica, of all places. So we got to stay in Santa Monica right by the beach. We got to go out at night, explore the area. And the best part, one of my best friends from high school, he goes to USC. So I was able to hang out with him and bring a few of my teammates over to his dorm.
So what a life. What a life.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it. Well, it sounds like you are having a great journey through ACHA and in your college
Last
career.
Minute of play in this period.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time, Blake, to share with our listeners that there's hockey beyond 18U, and if you're a non-elite player, to consider looking at ACHA hockey as a place to continue your development. Sounds like you've had a great experience.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
It was great. And I would also say, Blake, I think you are a great example for a lot of kids that, maybe like you said, didn't play Central States or AAA growing up, but you've developed into an awesome hockey player, and that's going to be with you for the rest of life. And that's what's so important. And you owned it the whole way through. So if kids are listening out there and you can find something similar to what Blake did when he saw that hockey game as an 8th grader or as a freshman with SLUH, like that's all it takes, man, that little spark. So you're going to have that the rest of your life. So congratulations, man. Good luck with finals. And see you around the rinks this summer. I think you'll be working around with the Rockets, and I'm sure I'm going to run into you with Sean.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I had a great time. Thank you.
All right, BD. Say hi to your folks.
I will, for sure.
See you, Blake.
Bye. Thank you.
That segment of Too Many Men on the Mic was brought to you by 5B Designs. St. Louis hockey families and business leaders, if you need custom gear that stands out and stands for something, it's time to meet 5B Designs. Founded by Shannon Brahini, a proud St. Louis mom and entrepreneur, 5B Designs is a woman-owned small business that brings purpose to custom apparel. Whether you're suiting up your youth or high school hockey team or leveling up your company's branded swag, 5B delivers top-notch quality with a personal touch. You need a team store? Not a problem. Corporate polos or event giveaways? They've got you covered. 5B makes it easy with fast turnaround, flexible service, and designs your players or employees will love to wear. Check them out at stores.inksoft.com/5B Designs. That's the word 5. And if you're watching on our YouTube feed, go ahead and scan that QR code up on the top right-hand corner of your screen and see what great gear and great service looks like.
All right, we're back. I'm just going to put it out there. We got to come up with some other nicknames for Blake. Grant, throw a dart out there. What's a good nickname for Blake?
I like BD, but I wish I knew what his jersey number was, because if he was like a 13, like BD 13, something like that, like a little play on. I think that's what it would be. BD's good. It's tough. It's not your typical, like, you can't, I guess, Dorney, but like that kind of sounds. That's not very good. Like, you know what I mean? There's no stereotypical
Dorner.
hockey thing to give him. That doesn't sound great either, Jared.
Dorner? You don't like Dorner? The Dorn?
No,
He's number 19. So BD 19.
BD 19. I mean, it's almost like
kinda
TV
like
12.
it.
BD 19.
I kind of like BD 19.
1-9er.
Yeah.
1-9er.
BD the best one, I think. BD
19. Well, we're gonna, he works summer camps in the summer with my other son Sean, and they've actually developed a pretty good relationship. He's a phenomenal human being, great kid, and I hope that coaches and parents and most importantly players kind of took from that interview the fact that he owned it. It wasn't his parents dragging him to the rink at 5 a.m. in the morning. It was him saying, "Hey, I'm going to go do this." And I think results speak for themselves. He's living the life right now, and he's going to be a successful young man no matter what. But I'm so impressed by Blake. I thought that was a great one of our better interviews. We've had a lot of good ones.
He was the most well-spoken of any player we've had.
He was better than some coaches on this show.
Yeah. And obviously he's a smart guy too. I mean, he's only at Northwestern,
only at Northwestern. So, well,
you should have asked him about that $1 billion stadium they built.
Yeah, well, we'll have him on again as we go into the season next year. Maybe we'll get a little bit of Too Many Men on the Mic on campus report from him. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick.
Well, speaking of stadiums, aren't the Bears trying to come up with a new stadium? Why don't they just play over at Northwestern?
Wouldn't that be sad? A pro team having to play at the college stadium because they can't find one?
It happened in Arizona with the with the Arizona Coyotes.
They were building a new one at least. Like,
that no one moved into.
That was even sadder. Yeah.
So,
Well,
Grant,
let's
Grant,
talk.
are you sweating right now because your bet is not looking good right now? Or are you digging in and are you feeling confident right now with the Canes down, or no, the Canes up, I should say, 3-0 right now? I know this is a Wednesday night before the Thursday broadcast. How you feeling about your bet?
Not great, especially after 3-2 back-to-back 3-2 losses, both in overtime. I mean, this series could easily be 3-0 Canadians or 2-1 Canadians, and it was unlucky.
Yeah,
Well,
tonight it looked.
They lost 2 overtime games.
They don't shoot the puck.
They
They don't
lost 2
shoot.
overtime games.
They had more icings than shots in the last game. I'm not
Still,
joking.
They lost 2 overtime games.
Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck.
Which
Freddie
is pretty
Anderson's not
amazing
that great.
considering they only shoot the puck 13 times a game. And that just shows you how their goaltender has just, I mean, he's the MVP of that team. Carolina had like 38 shots the last game and barely won. So kudos to the goalie. Keeping them alive.
The pride of DeSmet Jesuit. I don't think Dorner would have liked. I don't think BD19 has much appreciation for Dobish coming from DeSmet. But yes, he's been amazing.
So what I want to know is when you lose this bet, Grant, and you're at our Too Many Men on the Mic acoustic show, do you have pipes? Is there something that you like to sing?
No.
No?
No,
Nothing?
I can't sing.
Man,
I'll have a request.
Come on, what do you listen to in the car?
You're not coming alone either, right? You're gonna bring.
I'll bring. Yes, June 18th.
Yes,
June
June
18th.
18th.
Listen to him backpedal.
He's like, June 18th.
I have to be somewhere June 18th, right?
What can I find on my calendar? June
As long as I don't have to work, I'll be there.
Oh God.
What do you listen to in your car? What's your go-to band in your car right now?
I've been listening to a lot of Drake lately. He just released a new album.
Yeah.
But if I had to go like a band, more of a singer, I love Kenny Chesney. That's my go-to. I'm gonna be honest. If I'm listening to like singing, it's him. I like Noah Khan.
Okay.
He just released a new album. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those,
all right.
Okay.
Drake.
How
And
about
Noah
we
Khan.
give you a list of artists and you pick your favorite song?
Sure, let's do it right now. Name a name.
Favorite Led Zeppelin song?
I don't know.
Favorite.
I know who Led Zeppelin is. I couldn't name a song.
Favorite Pearl Jam song?
No clue.
All right, we're gonna have a whole set of hours where we're just gonna have
an intervention.
Brain dump on
AC/DC Thunderstruck.
Oh, I can't play ACDC. We can't play ACDC Thunderstruck on acoustic guitars.
Acoustic guitars. Yeah.
Okay, give me one more.
Dave Matthews. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say Dave Matthews, but Dave Matthews.
I mean, I know who Dave Matthews is too, but I don't know any songs. That one I don't. Like, I know Led Zeppelin and Pearl Jam songs. I just can't think of any. I don't know one Dave Matthews song.
All right,
I'm very confident about that.
So before next week's show, I want you to bring a list of songs that you like. You've named 3 of them already, bands that you like. But let's get it down to the songs, and then you got to bounce this off of us because when you're at the show on the 18th, we gotta play something, and maybe you can even come up on the mic and add some vocal qualities, or maybe we'll give you a triangle or a tambourine.
100%.
That one I could do. I speak behind a mic for a living, and I have no fear of public. That is one thing I would never do is sing in front of people.
Oh, come on. You'd be fine. You've never done karaoke.
Well, yeah, I've done karaoke. I can't sing.
Well, you'll be singing you're gonna be singing the brass, but we'll make up words to the brass bonanza, and you can sing that.
I'll do the triangle.
Well, I think we'll figure something out.
Can I do the cowbell? More cowbell.
You gotta have more cowbell. Yeah.
I mean, we could go
walking here.
We could go Don't Fear the Reaper, and you can just be cowbell.
Actually, we could do Don't Fear the Reaper. We could figure that out.
Do you do any Johnny Cash?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like The Man in Black. I like that
How
song.
about Folsom Prison Blues?
It's a good one. I like Ring of Fire as well.
We sang Ring of Fire over Christmas, didn't we, Drew? Didn't somebody that was an interesting night. That was an interesting
All right, so that may have legs. We may be able to
I think
work some Johnny Cash in there. I think we may have found something there. But
100%.
All right,
100%.
well, we'll come back to that. But great show. I think we got to leave the audience with a drill.
Got a little drill draw. So let's throw our drill draw up there, and there should be organ number 9. Should got to put our logo up there for Drift. Let's put the logo up for Drift.
I got you.
And then organ number 9. Organ number 9.
To hear that?
Yes, organ number 9, please. Number 9.
I mean, that is right out of your Sega console, if I've ever heard.
That was awesome. And this segment of drill draw is brought to you by Drift, the all-in-one hockey tool. Head over to app.drift.com to sign up for the desktop version. Brian and his team just released the app version on the iPhone store. Go into the iPhone app store and type in Drift Hockey. You'll get the app. Great features that are coming on a daily basis, and we're so excited to be partnered with Drift. Go ahead and scan that QR code up in the top right-hand corner to take you to the sign-ups page, and mention Too Many Men on the Mic, and you'll be part of their beta testing and be able to get a great deal on being a part of Drift Hockey, which is all in one. Practice planning, film study, registration, scheduling, communication, you name it. It's all in one. It's as if Huddle and Team Snap and Crossbar and Sports Engine and IHS all got together and got mixed up in a big pot, and now you've got Drift Hockey. It's a great application, and we're happy to be partners with it. Let's pull over onto Drill Draw. All right, I'm going to add the. So this is my week here, and I'm gonna. There's a lot of names for this game. Some have called it the gambler. Some have called it taking a risk. I'm going to call it balanced bet. And in this game, you are basically dividing into 2 teams with 2 goalies playing in the neutral zone, and you're going at the same time. And it can be 2v2 or 3v3, and you have to communicate with your teammates and say, hey, are we going to go 3-on-1, 3-on-2, 3-on-0? Are we going to sit back and defend? But the ice is set up like this. So let's get our nets out there. So you have one net at the dot over here, and you have another net at the dot over here. You'll have your blue team all lined up over here with pucks, and you'll have your red team all lined up over here with pucks. And like I said, you can go either 2v2 or 3v3. Don't typically go 1v1 because it takes some of the decision making out of it. Oh, hang on. That goalie is going to be blue. There we go. Nope, I'm sorry. I'm backwards because I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. There we go. All right, and let's get a pile of pucks at each blue line. And we'll say we're playing 3v3 right now. So let's do player 1, player 2, player 3. Over here, one of them's got a puck. And over here we've got player 1, player 2, and player 3. So the cool thing about this game is you have two pucks. You're playing with two pucks at the same time. If the goal here is obviously to score, but it's to communicate with your teammates and see who can score first. Because if you score first, then you can get all your players to go and compete on the other side, try and win that puck possession if they haven't scored yet, and go score again. So on the whistle, let's say we've got one player skating with the puck, and he's going to attack. Now, the other two players have to decide, are we going to attack with him or are we going to defend?
Oh, you lost your arrow.
I got it right here. There we go. And now the other two players can say, are we going to attack with him? Maybe they fake attack and then come back and play some defense. Meanwhile, same time, the other team has a puck as well, and they're going to attack. And so then the question becomes, do these other two players stay back and defend against whatever they're bringing that way, or do they gamble? Or my game's name, they make that bet and they try to go 3-on-0 or 3-on-1 or outman the other team and score as fast as they can.
You know what we need on this drill? We need Kenny Rogers, the gambler, in the background.
Absolutely.
Just kind of quiet, just in the background. That'd be a good ad.
On a rink up in Brentwood.
I know that song.
Oh, here he goes.
Oh, look at this guy.
The Kenny Rogers.
So the great thing about this game is you're in a small area. You've got some coaches in case a puck gets lost. So we can place a couple coaches on, just outside the zones in case the pucks bounce out and they're able to play a puck back in. But the key here is how quick can you score? How fast can you process? But most importantly, these three players have got to communicate. And that's the key. If these three players are communicating and they're saying, okay, they're looking across the way and they're seeing these three players and maybe one stays back, like, we know if we score quickly, if we go 3-on-2, we can score quickly, come back here and get that puck and then play again. You play until both pucks have been scored. A lot of times both pucks get scored right off the bat, but what ends up happening if you keep score is the players in line, they make the decision before the game, before their turn's up. And it helps teach this awareness, this communication, but it also is like things are not always going to go as planned during a game. You're going to take chances during a game, and you should be encouraged to take chances and risk. But it's also being able to, like, okay, I made this decision, but should we change? Should somebody stay back? Should two guys bust back? I mean, what makes the most sense? So usually the game lasts for each round about 60 seconds. In some instances, it goes a little longer. Oftentimes they're done in like 30 seconds. It's fast paced, guys. As soon as a puck scored, it becomes a 3-on-3 with one puck. And then as soon as that puck's scored, the next three guys in line from each side go attack. So we call it balanced bet. It's one of those drills where the players are always asking before, hey, let me go one more time. But, Coach, you've seen this drill in action. What are some thoughts that you have on it?
Oh, it's absolute chaos. It is exactly what you would think it is. And first step is key. This is one of those first on puck drills. So if you're it doesn't matter what team you're on, if you're the person with the puck, well, what I see time and time again is, boy, those first 2 or 3 steps of the player that's leading the charge. I mean, it's like they're shot out of a cannon. And then to your point, can they score quickly? Can they regroup, get back, help defend, and then take the puck the other way? It doesn't last long, rarely more than a minute, but it's just pure chaos. And so it's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of really quick movements. And to your point, it's all about the communication. And there's no right way or wrong way. I think we've seen every scenario where all 3 go, 2 of the 3 go, 1 of the 3 go, and 2 of them stay back. I don't know that there's any one method that's better than the other. But it's a fun drill, and the kids really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fast paced. And you've got to have good coaches in the outside the zone, because sometimes on those shots the puck goes flying, which also means the kids in line have to pay attention. So this is one of those drills and games where everybody's got to have their heads up. And you said it best. It's like you've got to communicate in just chaos, and that's what hockey games can turn into. And when you turn, and this is an opportunity to train your brain when you're in the midst of that chaos. Can you like be calm? Can you make decisions? Can you make that bet? Can you go score that goal? So we call it balance bet. It can be also called the gambler. There's several other great ones for it, but everyone that we've been able to have play this game with seems to love it. And like we said, they're always saying, "Hey, one more coach." So you'll be able to find that on our website right after the show today at toomanymenonthemic.com, along with at least 24 more great drills and games that are brought to you by folks from USA Hockey and hockey organizations around the country, really around the world. But that segment of Too Many Men on the Mic, as we mentioned before, brought to you by Drift Hockey. This is powered by Drift Hockey, the all-in-one hockey tool.
All right, we're back from drill draw. Still 3-0, Grant. But it's right at the top of the third. So tell me, what kind of conversations do you think were going on between second and third period break? If you were in the Montreal locker room, what do you think was being discussed during that break?
Probably something to the, boys, we're probably not going to win this game. Let's just take a knee on this. Let's get out of this one. Let's pack it in. We're not going to win. Let's go. Let's steal one at their place in game 5. We'll come back game 6, win that. Then anything can happen in game 7. That's what I
can tell you exactly what's not being said.
That is exactly what I would think.
What's not being said.
I would
brought
say,
to you by Grant.
I would say, hopefully, one thing that's being said as the Canadians currently have 15 shots. I would say shoot the puck is one suggestion that I hope the Canadians are getting. I'm in a win-win situation. Either Canada still doesn't win a cup and the memes continue, or I win the bet. I can't lose.
You win a round of golf. That's right. Well,
I can't lose.
I would say that. What do you know? Logan Stankoven scored again. I don't know. You might want to put a guy on him. He's killing them. I think Marty St. Louis is probably saying, boys, let's get the first goal of the period within the first 3 minutes. We're coming in with 15 shots. We've got to probably average two shots a minute. But get to the net. And that's the thing that the Hurricanes just do so well, is they get into that, high, that gritty, grimy, ugly area. We call it home plate on the ice. But they get to the net. Montreal, they get down near the net. I like to say they're kind of near and around the net, but the majority of their players are such perimeter players. And they need a little bit better mix. I think they've got to get some folks a little bit, that's Slafkowski. He's got the size. He should be down, as coach likes to say, he should know what Freddie Anderson had for breakfast. You got to get that. That's coach's like famous sayings. Like, you got to know what that goalie's having for breakfast.
You should be able to smell the goalie. And on top of it, I'll just offer a stat. You got to stay out of the box. So Montreal through 2 periods has 10 minutes of penalties. That's way too many. You can't be given Carolina power play after power play. That's just going to eat you alive. So stay out of the box would be my suggestion.
Yeah. And, look, I'm rooting for 7 games. I want to see more hockey. I'm disappointed that Colorado couldn't extend the series last night. But I just want Grant to experience the culture and the musicality of coming to a Too Many Men on the Mic acoustic show.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Broaden his horizons.
I'll tell you this: win or lose, I'll probably be there either way.
Oh,
Probably
win or
be there.
oh, wow, what a commitment. Wow,
Dude,
what a
You're like
that's
Switzerland.
yeah.
Pending my
jeez
job.
Louise, man.
Pending my job.
Well, Coach, I think that's been we got to put a bow on this one. What a great guest. And I'm not talking about Grant. But thanks again to Blake Dorn for sharing a little bit of his journey with us and our audience. I think there's a lot to learn there. Hopefully, we get a lot of folks listening to the show, and we'll be able to, as we promote this, we'll share Blake's Instagram, and hopefully people are connected and following him. And shout out to the Northwestern Wildcats ACHA team. Just another great organization for us to root for as we go along our journey when it comes to hockey, and now ACH hockey in the United States. So
it's all about BD19. I loved it.
BD19. I love it too. It's going to have to be his new handle, whether he likes it or not. So, all right, Grant, take us home. He shoots, he scores. Play the song. Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.
There we go.